Hello, today we're going to talk about finding the volume and surface area of triangular prisms. And so we've got a couple of different triangular prisms to deal with. Let's go ahead and deal with the easier type first. Here I have a right triangle making my triangular prism, and so finding the area of this triangle would be fairly simple. But finding the perimeter is going to take a little bit of work, as I need this third side over here. But let's go ahead and figure out what we need. For surface area, remember the lateral area is the perimeter times the height, and the total surface area is the perimeter times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So that means I need my perimeter, I need my height, and I need the area of my base. Well, to find the perimeter of my base, remember that this triangle, those would be my bases. And so to find the perimeter, I would need to figure out what this third side is. Well, that's just Pythagorean theorem. So 8 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared. And so we get that 289 equals c squared. And when we take the square root, we get that c equals 17. So this side over here equals 17. And then to find the perimeter, we just add our three sides, 8 plus 17 plus 15. And that gives us a perimeter of 40. Now the height, very important that this is the height of the prism, not the height of the triangle. The height of the prism, that would be the 12 over here, the distance from one base to the other. And then the area of the base is the height and base of the triangle, not the prism, but the height and base of the triangle multiplied together divided by 2. So 8 times 15 and then divided by 2 gives us a base of 60. Now that being said, we can go ahead and start figuring out what these are. The lateral surface area would be the perimeter of 40 times the height of 12. 40 times 12 is 480. And the total surface area would be the 40 times the 12 plus 2 times the 60, which would give us a total surface area of 600 square units. And now over here we're going to talk about finding the volume. Now finding the volume, I need the area of the base. I also need my height. Well, height's the easy one. It's the distance from one base to the next. This would be my height, and here we just have a height of 4. But the area of the base is tricky, because to find the area of the base, I need to know the height of my triangle. Or I could find the apothem of my triangle and use that formula. And either way is fine. This is an equilateral triangle, and in fact finding the height is just a little bit easier this time, because when I do that, this is a 60-degree angle, which means that I have a 30, 60, 90 angle. So if this is x, this is 2x, and this is x on the square root of 3. So that means that this is 4, this is 2, and this would be 2 on the square root of 3. And so to find the area of this triangle, we'll do 4 times 2 on the square root of 3 divided by 2, and we get 4 on the square root of 3. Now, what that leads us to is volume is going to equal 4 on the square root of 3 times 4, which is simply 16 on the square root of 3 cubic units. Alright, let's go ahead and have a look at some other similar problems. Here it's telling me that the base of my triangular prism was an equilateral triangle with a side length of 12. That means that all sides of this triangle are 12. And the height of this prism, that's the distance from one base to the other, would be 5. So again, I need to know my perimeter, my height, and my base, because we are looking for the surface area. Well, the perimeter, that was easier. That's just 12 times 3, which gives me 36. The height is also easy. It's just 5. But the area of the base, this is the tricky part. Again, I either need to find the height of my base, or I need to find the apothem of my base. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go with the height again. So I have a 30, 60, 90 triangle where this is x, this is 2x, and this is x on the square root of 3. So if the size is 12, that means the bottom would be 6, and so the height would be 6 on the square root of 3. And so to find the area of my triangle, that's going to be the base of 12 times the height of 6 square root of 3 divided by 2, and that's going to give me 36 on the square root of 3 for the base. And now we need to go ahead and find our lateral area. That would be the 36 times the 5, which gives me 180. And since they gave me units, I'm going to go ahead and put these in units. This would be square centimeters, 180 square centimeters. And the total surface area, that equal to 36 times the 5 plus 2 times the 36 on the square root of 3. Well, because of this radical, and if I want to leave it as a perfect answer, I'm still going to have the 180 plus 36 times 2 is 72 square root of 3 square centimeters. And this is the exact answer. If I wanted an approximate answer, I could just plug this into a calculator and get the approximate answer. But this is the exact answer that we know will always be accurate. One more example, and this time we have the easy right triangle. It says the base of a triangular prism is a right triangle with legs of 6 and 8 and a height of 12. Remember, the height is the distance from one base to the other. And our volume, because that's what we asked for, we just need the area of the base. And the height, well, the height was 12. The area of the base, that would be 6 times 8 over 2, which is just 24. And then we can just do 24 times 12 to get our volume. And we get a volume of 288 cubic centimeters. Because this is volume and volume is in cubes. So that was triangular prisms.